Hey everyone, we're here on the final day of our Planning a Zoo Trip assignment. The last task for us is to create a map of the zoo or the aquarium that you have chosen to visit. Now, some of you in your exploration of the websites, you've probably looked through a lot of different pages on the website, and maybe you've even found a map of the zoo. Well, the assignment is not to print it out and say, hey, I've got a map. The goal is for each one of us to actually draw and create a map of the zoo. So you'll want some colored pencils, you want some crayons or markers, some paper, and I might encourage you to start your drawing originally in pencil as you're planning and designing. Now, if you found a map of your zoo, that can certainly help you. You can use that as a guide, but I do want you to create your very own map. And we want to include some of these important elements. If you haven't found a map of the zoo, that's okay. You have a creative freedom to design the zoo the way you want to. It might not actually match what the layout of the zoo is or the design of the zoo, but you get to create it. And think back to your schedule. You know the places you want to visit, so you're going to want to include those important places that will be a part of your visit. For everyone, this is a great review of some of those map skills that have been worked on in the past. So make sure your map includes a title. Include a map key with symbols. That means you don't have to be writing words all over your map, and in some cases it gets tough to fit big words into tiny spaces. Use a symbol. If you're going to visit the monkeys, you might draw a tiny little monkey head, and then in the map key, show that same little picture of the monkey head and put monkey exhibit. So use a map key and symbols. The labels will be important. Some of the labels will show up in the map key, but you might have some areas on your map where you actually need to use the words to label the specific areas. A compass rose is something that we talked about that shows directions, and a scale. Again, if you have found a map, maybe there's a scale on it. A scale, remember, helps us with measurement and distance. So you can kind of make a plan. Again, it might not be perfectly accurate, but it gives us good practice. If you set up a scale, you might say that an inch equals half of a mile. So that way, as somebody's looking at your map, they can kind of see, well, if I walk from this exhibit to this exhibit and it's about an inch away, then if an inch equals half a mile, 2 inches would be 1 whole mile. So it gives an idea of how much distance will be covered in the trip to the zoo. So this is a great way to connect to social studies, and we're excited. We get to see some colorful, beautiful maps. Again, you could have a map as a guide from the website. If not, you get to design this map. You get to set up the zoo however you would like to and still practice those map skills. So I'm excited to see your finished products. I hope you've had fun creating and planning and calculating and designing with this assignment. And we will be back next week with another assignment.